Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for waiting 11 minutes later than what this class was supposed to start. So today we are going to be talking about Vishaka Nakshatra with my main man, Dr. Arjun Pai, and he's here. And you guys have been waiting for this for literally a month, emailing me back and forth. When is he coming next? So he's here again, and he's going to show you about the meaning and the truth and the wisdom of the Vishaka Nakshatra. So let's help us introduce Dr. Arjun Pai. Hello, doctor.
Hey, hi, Kapiel.
Hello.
Yeah, really pleased to be back on your channel again.
Absolutely, it's always it's my honor and my pleasure. Welcome.
And I always look forward to come on this channel because it gives me that much more enthusiasm to study more, to research more,
exactly,
and present what I want to speak about. So it is a learning experience for me as well. As much as I want to give out, it even enriches me. So I love to come.
I know. People want to know. People are like, "What?" It's like on my Facebook channel. If you look, what are you bringing, Dr. Arjun?
Right.
Okay, I see. Okay.
So literally, if you look at another side of Vishaka, it means a decision which has no two ways. So one-pointedness. Okay. The word is fixation or one-pointedness. That is Vishaka. Okay. That is the literal meaning. So I told you both the meanings. One is what it means is forked, and also another contrast because it is Vishaka, which means V means opposite. So It is showing you one pointedness. There are no two ways. So these people, Vishaka, typically, if Vishaka is very strong, can be very focused, can be very attentive, can be very competitive. I'll come to those once I explain, each of those concepts very clearly. Right? Now, let me give you an example when I say one-pointedness. So the example that I want to give is of Arjuna's target. Okay, the Arjuna is Arjun. Arjun is
okay.
Yeah, Arjun of Mahabharata. The epic Mahabharata.
Okay. Got
so
it.
The character Arjun.
Yeah.
Okay, his target. Okay, and his decisive focus is what explains Vishaka's characteristics. Okay, what it shows is when Arjun had to shoot down the the rotating fish. Okay, by looking at the reflection.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Looking at the reflection, he had to shoot the arrow, right?
Yeah.
So the stance that he takes and the readiness and the attentive preparedness before shooting that arrow is what Vishaka is, right?
Okay.
It is taking that pose and concentrating on and taking that attentive preparedness before you shoot that arrow. So you got your eyes only on your goal or your target.
Right.
That is what Vishaka is. It's a very goal-oriented nakshatra.
Okay.
Okay. Severely goal-oriented because these people are. I'll come to when I discuss about Indra and Agni. That is when you will know why it is very, very goal-oriented and very, very fixed nakshatra. Okay, fixed as in fixation, right?
Okay, yeah.
So, anthropologically, Vishaka typically represents the arms and the breasts of the Kala Purush.
Okay.
Now, who is Kala Purush? Kala Purush is the cosmic man, right? There's a Vedic hymn called Purusha Sukta. Okay? Vedic hymn called Purusha Sukta, which explains the concept of the entire universe. Okay.
Okay.
Being constituent parts of the universe are Kala Purush, which is the cosmic man. So each part of the universe is been prescribed or it's been assigned to the cosmic man or the Kala Purush. And for Vishaka, it becomes the arms and the breast. Right.
Okay.
Now, when you talk about Vishaka, one thing what you have to know is when Vishaka comes, what you have to know what is preceding it. Okay, the preceding nakshatra was Swati nakshatra. Okay,
right.
So Swati is represented by a young shoot swaying in the wind. Okay, young shoot. It's a young, a plant or a young
Yeah,
blade.
it's like a branch waving in the air. Yeah.
It's like waving in the air. So what it means is it's a little bit indecisive. Swati is being indecisive.
Yeah.
Right. It's initially it gives you starting problems in life.
Yeah.
So what happens is, from being in a situation where you have been indecisive, discontent, there's been dissatisfaction, okay, and these are the state from which you have just entered Vishaka.
Okay.
Okay, so you're bringing in transformation, okay, and this nakshatra is trying to say, okay, from being very discontent, from being disarrayed or disoriented, you are trying to come and bring some orientation. So that is the transformation that you're bringing. So you're trying to move towards a source of origin or a divine inspiration. That is what Vishaka is.
Okay.
Okay. So basically what it means, in other words, it's a psychological orientation or the preparedness that is required for the native for his spiritual transformation or the changes. So what it means, Vishaka, you see, Vishaka is the middle point between the 27 nakshatras.
Okay.
Right? It's a middle point. If I start from Kritika up to Vishaka, is, I said in my previous video, they are called as Devayana nakshatras. And going from Anuradha, okay, which is the consecutive nakshatra, to Bharani, it is called as Pitrayana. Okay. Right? So Vishaka becomes the inflection point. Okay, it's a point in Sanskrit or in our Vedic system called as Sandhi. Okay, the word Sandhi, which means the junction point. Okay, Sandhi is a junction point. Okay, so this nakshatra is called as a transformation which is going to happen, like it happens between night and day, which is dawn, or day and night, which is dusk. Seasonal changes that you see, new moon day, because from the new moon it goes to the full, it moves towards becoming waning. And so these are zones which you have to remember is prescribed, or is the time when Rahu is very active. Okay, when the night turns to day, day turns to night. Okay, during the dawn, the dusk, when there are seasonal changes. Okay, when the new moon starts waxing again, so that is again. So these are transition points or times when, if you do remedies for Vishaka nakshatra, or do remedies of Rahu, because Rahu is an agent of change, of transformation, sudden change. So that is what, from day to night, that is the point. So that is what is called Sandhi. So people who are born in Vishaka are at that point where they have to move from being materialistic towards the spiritual side.
I had a question. Shouldn't it be from Swati Nakshatra instead of Vishaka? Because Swati is the one that is ruled by Rahu. Vishaka is the one that is ruled by Jupiter. So why are we doing the Rahu remedy in Vishaka Nakshatra versus being in Vishaka Nakshatra?
Yeah. See, that is because, okay, if you note, Swati is the nakshatra ruled by Rahu. Okay, that is where I said you have a lot of dissatisfaction, discontent. You have been going through a lot of, you're swaying in the wind, right? That is the Rahu element. Okay. Now, once you enter Vishaka, the point when you enter, it is 20 degrees. Okay. Okay. That is the exaltation point, the highest exaltation point of Saturn.
Saturn, yeah.
Right. Right. But remember that astrologically it is also the debilitated Navamsha of Saturn, which is Aries.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. How can you have a planet which is exalted in its original position, but it is Navamsha, it is debilitated?
Yeah.
Okay. So it gives you that transformation which you're coming. You're coming from a Rahu Nakshatra into a Guru Nakshatra. So this nakshatra typically brings that element of transformation. So this is, the push is very high. In Rahu Nakshatra, you are still dilly-dallying. You're moving, you're really uncertain. But once you come into Vishaka, that is when you get more structure. Why? Saturn is structure. Saturn is discipline. Saturn is something, is karma karak. So it will start bringing you on the right path. Okay, what is the right path? Is what your life and the part of the native will decide.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Now, having come to that, if you remember, this nakshatra, okay, also forms the debilitated sign. It is also the debilitated nakshatra for the moon. Okay, the highest point of debilitation for the moon is 3 degrees.
3 degrees,
Scorpio.
yeah.
Okay,
right.
In Scorpio, right? So that is why we call. But if you remember, moon is debilitated in the 4th pada, okay, or pada of Vishaka.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, it becomes the own house pada, Navamsha pada, which is Cancer.
Right.
Moon falls in the Navamsha, it falls in its own house.
So
now, do you see the extremes? You have Saturn at the beginning of this nakshatra at 20 degrees, it gets exalted, but it is debilitated in its Navamsha, which is Aries.
Right.
And you have moon on the other extreme, which is almost towards the end of the fag end of this nakshatra, almost at 3 degrees, because this nakshatra finishes at 3 degrees 20 in Scorpio, right? So almost at the end, fag end of this nakshatra is where moon is in its deep debilitation. However, you see the strange thing is it falls in its own Navamsha.
So what would your interpretation be of this concept?
See, my interpretation is this is the only nakshatra in the entire zodiac where you find an exalted planet and also a debilitated planet. There is no other nakshatra which gives you both exaltation and debilitation. So this is a point where, see, for example, Saturn represents discipline, Saturn represents fortitude, courage, okay, because it is exalted. Moon, okay, is the least stable, okay?
Right.
Since you just sign every day, okay, so it can bring in indecisiveness, right?
Right.
So why these 2 points give you so different results? Okay, you have on one side, but you have to remember Vishaka. Okay, it's another concept which I've never spoken about. Maybe we'll do it in a future lesson, but I'll say Vishaka, the first pada and the 4th pada are called as the Pushkara Navamsha padas. What is Pushkara Navamsha? Any planet which falls Pushkara means push means nourishment, nurturing. Kara means to do.
Right.
Okay. So when any planets fall there, even a debilitated planet gets, a kind of result of exaltation. So it is exactly if moon falls exactly at this debilitated point, it might not give you that same result of a real debilitation, right? Somewhere it will give you emotional, very emotional. Okay, but it can also give you the other side, which is Saturn, which is the karma. Okay, he will stand, he'll put his foot down, and he'll say, no, this is what is destined, and this is what you will get.
Okay.
Right? So you have both these. So what I wanted to tell you is, this is a Mishra Nakshatra. The word I am using is Mishra. I've used this word for Kritika, if you remember. Mishra means both soft as well as sharp, which is mixed. Mishra is mixed. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is a mixed nakshatra. So that's why you bring, there are only 2 nakshatras which are mixed. One is Kritika and one is Vishaka. Okay. And fortunately today, moon is transiting or has just entered Kritika nakshatra. Just about, just about, it's a Mishra nakshatra which is operating now. As we
and here we are talking about changes.
Changes, exactly. Okay. So it has just happened a couple of minutes, maybe about half an hour ago.
Okay.
Anyways, can we go to the next slide? All right. So this is also, there is an alternate name for this nakshatra, is also called as Radha. Okay, that's another name for Vishaka. Because if you remember, the consecutive, the next nakshatra is called Anuradha. So this is called as Radha. Okay, who is Radha? Radha is a consort of Krishna. Okay, Radha means the dutiful or the delightful one. Okay, she is called as Srimati. I've said she is called as Srimati Radharani also. Okay, Radharani. Now, everybody knows about Radha's fixation towards Krishna.
Right.
Okay, and her unflinching dedication and one-pointed devotion, extremely focused. That is what Radha is. Okay, you always put a Radha and Krishna together in your house because that is what you want to bring. You know, relationship which is dedicated, which is one-pointed, devotion. You know, devoted.
Right.
Okay, so that element you want to bring into relationships, and that's why you keep a Radha Rani image in your house. If you have relationship problems, this is the best thing. Now, why I have got this thing is so all devotees of Krishna can have some link to Vishaka. Why? Because Radha Rani, okay, Radha's most prominent companions were called as Ashtasakhi. Ashtasakhi means the 8 principal gopis or friends or companions.
Okay.
Amongst them, the most important was Lalita Devi. Okay, Srimati Radha Rani's, most important is Lalita Devi. The second, who is inseparable from Radha, who is just like her twin sister, is Vishaka Devi. Okay, that is where this term comes, Vishaka, for this nakshatra comes from. It was called as Radha, but because Radha's most favorite companion Vishaka, this nakshatra was coined the name Vishaka.
Okay.
Now, if you look at this nakshatra and Vishaka Devi's traits, she is very skillful in drawing pictures of Krishna and Radha. Okay, whenever Radha feels in a depressed mood or a separative mood, then she starts playing the mridangam. You know, that is what our scriptures have written about. She plays the mridangam. Mridangam is a form of an instrument. Okay, right. It's a percussion instrument, right? And her main mission and her reward, Vishaka Devi's main mission, is the joyous union of Krishna and Radha. That is her mission. Okay? And she helps Radha whenever she is depressed and she's remembering. Okay, she flows like the Yamuna river and shows the reflection of Krishna in the Yamuna. Okay, so Vishaka Devi is considered as an embodiment of river Yamuna. So people who feel troubled, right? See, let me tell you about Vishaka. Vishaka can give you a lot of extreme results, right? It has got both the things of Indra as well as Agni. So I'll come to that later. But you have to remember, when you have to do remedies, when you go to Yamuna and do remedies, that is when you can appease Vishaka Nakshatra. That is what has been said. Okay, by offering prayers to Yamuna, okay, you are offering prayers to Vishaka Devi. Okay. Vishaka Devi will bring that element of love, bring that element of skill, creativity in your life. That is what it means. Okay. So, now let's go to the next slide. Okay. Right. So if you see the image there, okay, you can see a two-headed god. Okay. Right. With a fireball behind. Okay. That is Indragni. Right. So what I wanted to tell you about Indragni is, in our ancient scriptures, these dimorphic pairs are called as Devata Dwandas. Devata Dwandas. Devata Dwanda means they are dimorphic. Okay? They have one body with 2 heads. Okay. Right? Now, what you have to remember about these archetypes of Indragni is they have both traits, okay, virtues of both these gods, as well as whatever the negative sides of both gods are also combined in this Devata Dwandas, which is dimorphic. Okay. Now, what is Indra known for? Indra is popularly known for his colossal feats, mighty exploits. Okay. Agni is called as the chief of the Vasus. Vasus are the elemental gods. They are called as Ashtavasus. There are 8 elemental gods. Okay. So Agni is more active on the terrestrial plane. that is our earth. He's the great consumer. I've said that in Kritika. But Indra is the dominant Aditya. He's a fearless warrior. Okay, he's the chief of the gods. Okay, but what if you have to know about Indra. I reiterate, I've told that in Jesta as well. He loves sensuousness. He's a luxury-seeking guy. He loves pleasures. He rules the heavens, but he's always goal-oriented. Right? When I say goal-oriented and sometimes very offensive, he's an offensive character, Indra. And at times, he would go to any length to achieve his desired end. Any length. He might find that there is a enemy there. Okay, he's weak. He can never do anything to you. Okay, he's crippled, but still he will go and he will destroy that enemy. He'll say, "I do not want to leave even an element of doubt that this guy can tomorrow, regain strength and he can come and attack me." So that is the insecurity which is there in this nakshatra because of Indra's, this sort of characteristic or trait of Indra.
Right.
Okay? And you have seen from multiple mythologies we have talked about Indra, many a times his desires are ungodly. Okay, which often we've seen him get into all sorts of troubles. Okay, so you see that he wants to get, just to remind you, Indra's indulgent side. There is an indulgent side of Indra, which is merrymaking, joyous, everything, and there is a repentance side of him. He goes into deep penance. Okay, he renounces the world for years, right? So Vishaka natives can have this element with them. Sometimes they can be very deceptive at times. They wouldn't show their real self. They could be deceptive, right? So the primary theme which comes from this sort of understanding about Indra is these people want to pursue worldly goals in questionable ways. Okay? They want to pursue worldly goals in questionable ways, and which sometimes creates bad karma as a result. Okay. So who is the catalyst now? The catalyst or the balancing agent for this nakshatra is Agni. Because without Agni's wisdom and intelligence, Vishaka is just like Jyeshta nakshatra. There is no difference. Who will indiscriminately exert his authority for expansion for his own personal agenda. But remember, also Agni is the one who brings this balance. Why? He is also Mishra. Okay, he could be sharp also. But you have to remember, fire is never satiated, no matter how long it consumes.
Right.
Okay, it wants to eat. So these people could also become gluttons, just like Kritika nakshatra. Yeah. Okay? But sometimes this gluttony or this, thirst which is not satiated, that can actually result into, because what you remember, see, Agni can also become amok, run amok and burn indiscriminately. That's the negative side of fire. Right. Right. So Vishaka people are always concerned about what they don't have rather than what they have. Why? It is like Agni. He is never satisfied. Okay, no matter how much ever materialistic things he enjoys, he is never satisfied. Right. Right? So Vishaka is always concerned about what they don't have rather than what they have. So they won't always want to say, okay, I want this. I have a Mercedes now. I want a Ferrari now. I want a Porsche now. Right. So sort of, they'll desire will never. And the want of getting that is as like Indra, the Indra's boat. So naturally, Vishaka has to do, because of these two forces, has to do with balancing and integrating these two remarkable forces. One is Indra, the might personified, and the other side is in the Agni, the fire, the consciousness, the fire of consciousness and intelligence which is there. Okay. Right? So another notable feature of this deity, okay, Indra Agni, is both of them delight in drinking soma. Okay, what is soma? Soma is an energy drink. It is like the Red Bull. It is like the Lucozades of today's world. Sports drink. And when I was in the United Kingdom, I used to have this drink which is called as Lucozade. You go and play, and then you have Lucozade. You suddenly feel, but you have one too many of Lucozades, or you have one too many of Red Bulls, those energy drinks, you become like a zombie because you're hyperactive, or that is what it makes you,
Exactly.
So this energy drink was called as the excellier of immortality, or the nectar of the gods, because this gave them virility and strength. Okay, so some of their colossal feats and the exploits, the war exploits that they have, is because of drinking soma.
Okay.
Right. So how can I use this? Is, if you see, I'll come to some themes later on. You will see that people with, because of the soma, would be interested in either brewing alcohol or consuming alcohol, or pleasures. Okay.
Yeah.
So all these things will come because of soma. So we'll come to that. But you have to know the basis is because both these they delight on the soma. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So if I have to tell you about Vishaka in very short, it is a course of evolution. Okay, it's a path.
Okay.
You have two paths. One, I said, there is, sometimes it's branch, but you need to also unify it. The branch is, people are always confronted with the path of, materialization or the path of spiritualization.
Yeah.
You can move on, you can be like a Indra, materialistic, or you can be like a, Agni, the controlled Agni, the positive side of Agni, which is purification, which is cleansing, right?
Yeah.
Going on the spiritual side. This will help. That is like, controlling all your things and trying to show, bringing that balance of forces between Indra and Agni. This is the biggest challenge. This is the biggest challenge of Vishaka, is to balance these two forces of spiritualization and materialization.
Yeah, I totally.
So finding the right balance. You should never fall on one side or the other side. Okay, you have to find the right balance.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes what happens, what I've seen, Kapiel, is usually this materialization path is so very strong. The Indra component in Vishaka is so very strong. It can bring discontentment. It's the same discontent that you were with Swati Nakshatra is coming here as well, and it can bring a vague life. Okay, the vague life can lead sometimes to infidelity. Okay, strong sexual appetite. Okay, it typically, why it comes is because of the Indra side. I told you the indulgent side of Indra, but also remember there is also an indulgent side of Agni as well. If you remember the Agni having this thing, lustful against the 7 Saptarishis wives that I told. Right. Yeah. So that can bring that. It's basically because they feel the non-fulfillment of promises in personal relationships. This is the negative, the shadow side of Vishaka, is because they are discontent. They're never happy with whatever they have. They want to go for more and more, because that is Agni, is never satisfied in life. Okay. So typically it might bring, what it means is, it can bring success in relationships usually in the later part of life. They are experienced in the later part of life. So, initial part of life is always topsy-turvy. Okay, issues of betrayal, disappointment can occur early on in the marriage. But later on, if you can hold this marriage together in Vishaka, when I say hold the marriage is when you have focal planets sitting there. When I say, I repeat again, focal planets are ascendant, Lord of the ascendant, moon, okay, or you can say sun, okay, Atmakaraka, Amatyakaraka. So these are broader things that I'm saying. When they come, it can give you certain hiccups in the initial part of the marriage. But if these relationships will flourish as they go along, because that is what it is. Delayed success, but definite success. Okay. When I come to the symbology, which is given by a triumphal gateway or an archway, okay, it shows that there is success later on. But usually you see these people have success in the second part of their life more than the first part of their life.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's go to the next slide. I think I've spent enough time on giving you the background. That is important. All right. So it is the 16th nakshatra. Okay, this nakshatra is called as the star of purpose. So usually, if you see in the olden times, the ancient times, if you have a strong Vishaka, people used to obtain their desires, okay, inherent desires, which is naturally in Vishaka, through performing religious rituals and rites, observing Vedic sacrifices or doing homas or yagnas. Yeah,
Right.
this was the way, because they use the Agni element more. Because once you know what Vishaka is, you wouldn't want to use the Indra element too much. You want to use the Indra element where? When you want to show the force. Okay, these people can become excellent CEOs or leaders. Why? Because that Indra is there. But
Yeah.
they could be a balancing CEO because they also have the Agni. So if you let loose just the Indra element, he'll bring you to your knees, because he's going to take you to such a great height and then drop you down from there. So you
Yeah.
want to tap into the Agni energy also. Okay. So this is, they achieve their inherent goals and their deep desires. Okay. Either through their decisive commitment or sometimes through force, like Indra.
Okay.
Okay. So, but one thing what I want to say is these people also could be, very determined, but also sometimes they can surrender themselves. Like Indra, he has that repetitive side of Indra is he surrender himself to penance, detachment, yoga, meditation,
Yeah.
austerity, sadhanas. This is a good thing to happen. But you would find these Vishaka natives suffer from alienation or isolation.
Okay.
Okay, why? Because when the Indra element is very strong, they want to be very dominant, forceful, determined. But
Yeah.
when they pull back, the same Indra element, when they pull back after a downfall, that is when they will go surrender themselves. Then you will see these people in yoga, meditation,
Yep.
doing, yeah, those are the sort of things. But they become completely alienated or isolated from the world.
Yeah.
So the idea that I want to say about Vishaka Nakshatra, Kapil, is one needs to burn the lower passions, become completely detached, okay, and focus on the higher realms of life. The higher realms of life is where you have to focus. That is what is the process of transformation. That is the wisdom that you will eventually get. People who are not listening to this video, they will not know. But people who are listening and who can understand, who can digest this information, this message is very clear. Burn the lower passions,
Right.
become more
Yeah.
detached, become more goal-oriented. Use that element of being goal-oriented to achieve higher things in life, which getting your consciousness higher. Okay, so what happens is, even sometimes when they are in the materialistic side of things, Kapil, they have a sense of vague disillusionment. Okay, seemingly they feel it is superficial. All these things. Yes, I'm enjoying life. Okay, I'm enjoying all the things that I can enjoy. I have the money. I have the I can drive the best car. I can live in the best homes. I can
Yeah.
all of this. But seemingly inside, they feel this is an illusion, okay? Seemingly
Right.
superficial experiences, which is not what the soul wants. This is the feeling Vishaka gives as they move towards, from the first part of their life to the second part of their life.
Okay.
So what happens because of this? These people tend to be perfectionists. It is the precision of Agni and the dominance of Indra. And to sometimes you see these Vishaka people spending undue amount of times on things that people would even not think about. They will say it is past. No, I do not want to do this. No, but the Vishaka will say, I want to do this.
Right.
Because he's the type of a person, he is the last person standing in the battle type of individual. Okay, somebody who wants to say, okay, I think we have lost this battle, but I want to stand there and I want to fight till my last breath. That is the sort of thing, it's perfectionist. That is where you see these people do that, and that is why you see some people could be genius who might be born in Vishaka, because these people spend too much of time on certain things which other people will not even look at it.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah. Yep. I do get it. I get it.
Okay. So now what you have to remember is if you can appease these two gods, what are the things that you can get by worshipping the dimorphic pair of Indra Agni? They bestow you with health, beauty, intelligence, strength, power, brilliance, all these things of Indra and Agni come. But the typical nature is they are forceful, they're determined, they're purposeful, okay? They're excellent writers, prolific speakers. Why? I said, if you look at, if they fall on the Libra side of things, okay? The first three padas are on Libra, right? That is the balancing. That is the balance. If you see this nakshatra, this constellation in Libra is made of 4 stars, right?
Right.
The brightest star is called as Alpha Librae, okay? And the Arabic name is called as Zubin el Jinbi, right? And the other is called as Zubin el Harkabi, the 2 stars. The Beta Libra is called as Zubin el Harkabi. So these gives you ability to concentrate on goals, right? But one small thing about these people are they are unforgiving and revengeful. They could be social, they could be clever at times, but they are unforgiving, right?
Yeah.
So having talked about all of these, okay, these people also have a shadow issues that they can revel in turmoil and enjoy a good argument. You know, if you have to bring them on, they will have a healthy argument. They love arguments.
Okay.
Right? Now, the paradox, the biggest paradox of this nakshatra is after achieving everything they have set their goals on, okay, after achieving what they have set to achieve, they are not sure if that is what they wanted to achieve. So you do your grand plans, you want to become the best man in astrology, you want to be the best teacher, you want to do everything you do, and finally when you go there and you become the best, that is when you are again come to the folk. So basically what it means is, you see, when I come to the symbol, is the triumphal gateway. Right? It is competition and victory. But once you become competitive, once you got victorious, that is when it brings you to another fork. So, okay, it brings you to another fork, and you can see another gateway ahead of you. You go through that gateway, you can see another gateway. So these people are constantly, you know, winning battles, coming out, you know, triumphant. It is more like lost battles and coming out. It is Rocky Balboa type of people, you know.
Right.
They get defeated, they get beaten down, but they are never, you know, down and out. They will come back. They'll fight back. They'll fight back and they'll be victorious. That is what Vishaka is all about. But the paradox is, once they have achieved whatever they have achieved, they do not know why they have gone and they have achieved this. They're not sure if that is what they wanted to achieve. Anyway, let's go to the next slide, Kapil. I think I've taken enough.
No. I love that. I love that. Yeah.
No, I do this deliberately because see, I can go to the chart straight, but if I give you this,
exactly,
like nobody, you know, would have, because you know what, this effort is like reading multiple books.
Yes.
Okay, multiple things, contemplating for days.
Exactly.
For days. Okay, it is not something that, you know, it comes to me, you know, naturally.
Trust me, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I wanted to share with you. Okay. Anyway, so what you have to know is, I'm taking too much of time here. Why? Because I won't be taking too many of mythologies. For the reason is, the mythologies that we are going to talk about is the mythologies of these 2 nakshatras, which is Kritika nakshatra and Jyeshtha nakshatra, which I have covered.
Okay.
Right? It's the same themes which are coming, but there is a subtle difference in these themes. Right?
Yeah.
See, in this nakshatra, the virtues and the hazards of both Indra and Agni apply. Okay? Like I said, the symbology there is a triumphal gateway, or it is in certain times you see this gate has been decorated with leaves. Okay, what it means, it actually means competition, victory, okay, success at any cost, dogged determination, unrelenting focus. Okay, but as I said, you know, I just repeated a couple of minutes ago, you pass through one gateway, you have another gateway which is emerging at the far end. So your milestones keep emerging as you go in your life, because you're never satisfied. You are Agni. You can consume as much as you want. You're never satisfied.
Yeah.
Okay, but the same arc way for a spiritualist. Okay, this is a milestone for his chakra journey to reach to the inner sanctum sanctorum. For a materialistic guy, it's only about his next milestone or his next thing to achieve, conquest. Okay, how many girlfriends I have. Okay, how much money, how many cars I have. That is Vishaka for a materialist. For a spiritualist who has detached himself, this gateway only signifies his journey through the chakras. Each gateway is a chakra that he has conquered. So you start with Muladhara chakra, and then the spiritualist starts moving. Okay, till he moves to the highest consciousness. That is the gateway for him.
So I mean, in a way, even like sun would be debilitated in this sign, but it will be exalted in the Mansha.
In this sign, correct. Absolutely.
Right. So how would you interpret that in the symbolism that you're showing?
Yeah, but that is Saturn. It is not sun.
No. Sun is debilitated in the birth, but then exalted in the Mansha. So you're saying that in the later part of life, the person will become more spiritual than being attached to material things.
Exactly. Or after marriage. After marriage, his spiritual journey will commence. Why? Because it is in Navamsha, right? It's exalted in Navamsha. But in your main chart, it is debilitated.
Yeah.
But in the Navamsha, it is exalted, which means after marriage, the sun will start shining. Sun is 24 hours. So it keeps you, whatever house the sun is in anybody's chart, it shows that house is working 24/7.
Okay.
When I say it is working, behind the scenes, there is something going on. Say, suppose sun is in the 4th house, right?
Yeah.
So always your mind is thinking, or your soul is thinking about what about my pleasures in life? It is a pleasure house. It's a luxury house. How can I improve my pleasure? So all these things is always playing in the back of your mind. Okay. Sukhasthan, it is called a Sukhasthan of pleasure, 4th house. 4th house from any house. So 4th house from sun also is telling you what is that your soul's pleasure is. The 4th house from sun.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
You get it? Yeah. 4th house from any house. But wherever sun is sitting, it is 24/7, right? Sun is always constantly moving.
Yeah.
It might be darkness here, but some part of the world, sun is still shining somewhere.
Still shining, yeah.
Right? So that is why. That is the symbolic. Now, see, for tantrics, the same nakshatra, for tantric people, this gateway represents the female sexual organ. It's a gateway. It is a sexual conquest or something. It's a gateway, because they say the tantric people, this is the gateway for heavenly experiences. That is what the tantrics believe in for this nakshatra. Right? Anyway, the alternative symbol of this nakshatra is called as the potter's wheel. Okay, what does a potter does? She puts the clay, okay, on the wheel, and it then starts forming shapes. It is transformation of your life. The clay remains still, okay, but as your life progresses, the clay starts taking different shapes based on how the potter is shaping that clay.
Okay.
Correct. So the potter is in a stubble sense, it is the god. He's trying to shape your life. He's trying to shape your clay. Okay. Different. Yeah. It takes different forms. The clay. But remember, the center of the wheel is always stationary. All the other things are moving, but the center of the wheel is stationary. Okay. That is where the primary attribute of this nakshatra, which is tamas. Tamas is stationary. That comes. Okay. Tamas is a desire to have no change from the existing condition. That is what you want to be in. Vishaka says, okay, it will bring you transformation, but it is tamasic. Actually, you do not want to bring transformations because you want to remain in the state where you are. but it will definitely bring transformations, because it is like the clay, which is, so if for a spiritualist in this nakshatra, he wants to remain at the center of the wheel.
Okay.
The center of the wheel is where the transformations are very less.
Yeah.
So you remain in that state of being, alienated, isolated, in meditative sadhana state. That is where you want to be. Okay. Okay. So that is what it means, right? Now, okay, I'll go straight to the animal. Okay, the rest of the things is dharma, rakshas. Okay, the animal symbol there is a tiger. Now I want to tell you about tigers because this is one of my favorite animals, the tiger. Right? I love the tiger. So the tiger, if you see the tiger, it keeps patrolling and marks its territory.
Yeah.
Right? What it does, if you see the tiger, how it marks its territory, in many times it urinates and marks its territory. Sometimes it marks its territory, it's scratching the bark of the tree, if you've seen, and roaring. That is what the tiger does. It is the mark on the tree in the forest says that is where the tiger has marked his territory. Okay, he does that. It is a way to say, it is a way to ward off the rivals trying to trespass. Okay? The roar of the tiger can be heard even for 8 kilometers or 5 miles away in the forest. Yeah. So why I'm telling you about this is the Vishaka people are similar. It is like Indra. He wants to mark his territories. Please do not come here. I am Vishaka. You have no right to come inside this region. If you come, I will roar. Okay, you can see the Vishaka people usually could have a thick voice or a prominent voice, just like a tiger.
Right.
Okay, his voice can be heard. So that's why I said these people can be good CEOs, leaders, politicians, whatever, union leaders. Why? Because they have a voice like a tiger. They can roar.
Amitabh Bachchan had a nakshatra?
I do not think he might. I do not know.
Okay, I mean, because his voice is everything for him. Like,
yeah, he's got a baritone voice. Yeah, so dominating baritone voice. Yeah, we'll have to check that. Yeah, we'll have to check.
Okay.
Another thing about the tiger that I want to tell you is you never, suppose in your worst dreams you meet a tiger. In your wildest dreams you meet a tiger, right? You do not look directly into the eyes of the tiger. It says, in literal sense, why? Because the tigers are very defiant. When you look at them, they will attack you. It's a tiger behavior. Okay, they do not want anybody to match eyes with them, and that is the same thing with Vishaka. They do not want somebody, because that is a sign of saying, I am more powerful than you, I am more dominant than you. That they cannot stand. They will attack you. So people who lock eyes with you are the people that a Vishaka native will not like, because that is like showing that I'm more. So a tiger typically, if you see, they spend most of the time, about 80% of the time resting. Unless provoked, they are always resting.
Yeah.
So Vishaka type is like that. They love to go and sleep. They'll give them any corner in any place of the world, they'll go and sleep. Okay, they want a lot of rest. And the tigers, they love their water hole. They love water. Okay. They can swim up to 30 kilometers or about 20 miles. They can swim. Why? Because of the Agni Tattva which is there. If you see in this, I have shown the element, the Tattva is Agni, which is Pitta. Pitta is, that fire in the body. You want to cool down.
Yeah.
So I won't be surprised if a Vishaka native, okay, takes bath twice in the day. Once in the morning and once in the evening, just like the tiger. He wants to rejuvenate. Okay, that is Vishaka. That is a tiger. Okay. Another thing about the tiger is the night vision. They have a very sharp night vision. Sometimes they say it's 5 times sharper than what a human can perceive.
Yeah, it's a cat. Like a cat is seen.
Yeah, it's a cat. So what happens is we have the second lord somewhere associated with Vishaka. These people have very sharp vision, and I don't mean to say literally sharp vision. It could literally be sharp vision or figuratively, which means they can comprehend beyond what can meet the eyes.
Yes, I know. Yep.
Okay. If you look at the bird there, it is the red-tailed hawk. It is the same like the hawk. It is a penetrating vision. Even from 30,000 feet, the hawk can spot a prey 30,000 feet below. Sharp vision.
Yeah.
Okay? And figuratively, you don't have to see. They can see the events panning out in front of them, and they can visualize what can come next. What doesn't meet the eye, they can see that. That is Vishaka for you. If it is a second lord, I'm telling you.
Exactly, like how people say like Scorpios are like the hawk. They attack, but then people who do not know about Vedic astrology, they're like, oh, I'm not a Libra, I'm a Scorpio. This is why, but they don't realize they're in the Nakshatra of Vishaka, which is the energy of Scorpio.
Exactly, energy of Scorpio. You're absolutely right. It's a dark side. It's a hidden side. It's a dark house. Scorpio is a dark house. But you still have razor sharp vision in that.
Yeah.
That is why Jyotish, of showing light, is always connected with a dark house of darkness like Scorpio. If they say astrology is all about showing light. That is why it's called Jyotish, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is called as a Vedang. It is called the eyes of the Vedas. Jyotish is called the eyes of the Vedas. Right? It's one of the Vedans.
Yeah.
Okay. That is why. Because in a dark house, you need to have some light. And Jyotishis or astrologers, if they follow this Vidya, this divine science with great reverence, they can show light to many people. We are light workers.
Right.
We are light workers. And that is what I would like to imagine. We are not, many of us are not Jyotishis. We are here just to show light for people.
Right.
That's it. You cannot predict. You ask me to predict something, what is going to happen after 5 minutes, I cannot predict. Or even after 10 years, I cannot predict.
Right. Absolutely.
Anyway, so let us, just the last thing I want to take there is the tree there associated is called as Nakshatra. Nakshatra, is effectively being used in Ayurveda to balance excessive kapha and pitta. Kapha and pitta is Ayurvedic, doshas.
Yeah.
Called as 3 doshas. So to elevate kapha and pitta, when you have too much of heat in the body or too much of water and earth in the body, that is kapha. Kapha is water and earth. Okay. So these things, Nakshatra can be an excellent remedy, and it can work as a digestant. Okay, it can work as an anti-inflammatory, antipyretic. So many uses. So people use Nakshatra when you have fever, you have itching, you have nausea, skin disorders. Okay. So, and sometimes this can also give you excessive thirst, or sweating. So when you see a Vishaka native, if he is a very strong, Vishaka is a Tridosha is kapha. So when you meet them, when you shake hands with them, you will find their palms are very sweaty. Okay. So because they are perspiring more, right? So see, there is so many things you can understand when, and that is what I keep telling Kapiel, my students. Okay, that my students on my current course. Okay, the idea is what I tell them is I want to train you so very well in this nakshatra that in 1 year from now, you just have to look at an individual, and you should be able to tell at least 2 or 3 planets. Not planets, I say there should be which nakshatras are operating in his life.
Right. Yeah.
That is, see, you can, and you have to be wrong. Sometimes you could be wrong. Many a times I'd be wrong. But if you can bring your hit ratio to 8 out of 10 times after 2 years or 3 years, isn't that great? I don't have to look at somebody's chart. When me and Sunil used to sit and do research on it, you would be astonished. We did research on nakshatras. We used to sit down, 2 to 4 hours in the morning. Before I go to work, he goes to work. Early in the morning, we used to sit, and again in the evening.
Oh my God.
And when we were studying nakshatras, we used to say, okay, this is the trait, this is the mythology, this is what the things are. Let us see in this person's chart if you have any planet in this nakshatra. And take it from me, 8 out of 10 times we have got it bang right. Me and Sunil, it was fabulous. In the last 8 months or 7 months, you won't believe it, Kapiel. Trust me. You can clarify this with Sunil. We have never discussed astrology. Very little do we discuss astrology. Not even a single. I think there was only 1 or maybe 2. I can remember in 8 months techniques he must have taught me. Okay. That too out of coincidence. I have never asked him. He has never. So what people think is, okay, we are very close to Sunil, so we get to know everything. No, that is not the
Right.
truth.
No, yeah, he tells me, yeah. He's like, look, I haven't even told this to Arjun
Yeah, no,
or Yuvraj, one of his
you
other
know,
students. He's like,
exactly.
yeah.
So we do not. But the times that we had before this 8 months ago, when we were doing, research on nakshatras together, it was the most fabulous time, because it was my mind working and his mind working, both of us, together. So it was
Yeah.
fabulous. I think that was the best time I've had learning about nakshatras, is
Amazing.
working
Yeah.
together with Sunil.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Anyways, so that is what I want to tell you. So this is what the focus. What I want people to understand is, after relentlessly practicing nakshatras, after a year or two, you should be able to say at least one planet in which nakshatra it is sitting. Okay, you might not know the planet. That is very difficult. That is a different level. So
Right.
eventually, look, from sadhanas, after 20 years, 25 years, people, once they reach that, they become a Vak Siddhi. You know what is Vak Siddhi? They don't even need to look at charts. You go and sit in front of them, they'll just start saying, because they
Yeah.
have reached that level. They can see
Wow.
what body, as you walk towards them, what body part you're touching, what color clothes you're wearing, what is nimitta which is playing, what are the omens which are happening around you.
My
And they can
goodness.
immediately tell you what you've come and what you want to ask. So
Yeah.
those are called as Vak Siddhis.
Walks.
To
Wow.
reach that, yeah, Vak means speech.
Yeah.
Okay? Vak Siddhis mean spiritual learning. So these people are, they've reached a state when they don't need charts, they don't need anything. And whatever they say will come true. Why they say that is not because of, they see the omens, they see the nimitta, they see Sapuna Shastra, they see what you're doing, what you're wearing, which body part you're touching.
Yeah.
Everything has a meaning. Anyway, I think let us move to the next slide, Kapil. I think I digress so many times, and I
I
do this
love
regularly
it.
in my
I'm glad
class.
you do that.
Okay, great. So you have to know the Shakti of this nakshatra is called as Vyapana Shakti. Okay? The power, the creative faculty is to achieve and to make manifest.
Okay.
So, but this nakshatra has the power to achieve many fruits in life. So it is a very fertile nakshatra per se, because I call it, it is also an agricultural nakshatra. Okay. Another agricultural nakshatra that comes immediately to my mind is Rohini nakshatra. Okay. Whenever we do Rohini, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
So, okay. So this is all about, if you see that, it's about cultivation. It is about reaping the harvest. Okay. The desire, you see, the desire of this nakshatra is to gain the greatest splendor amongst the gods. So you want to be called the greatest amongst the greatest. That is what the Indra quality. Indra is always wants to be called the king of the gods. Why? Because he wants to do certain feats which other gods cannot do.
I
Right?
see.
So, yeah. So all these things, and this is where I say, you can derive the growing of, having vineyards, or growing, anything to do with wine, alcohol, or crops related to alcohol can come there. I'm going to talk about a theme later on, but I'm just giving you why that theme would come later on, is because of the Shakti of this
Okay.
nakshatra, and also the foundation above and foundation below. So cultivation, harvesting, all of this. So somewhere people would be inclined to go towards the farm side. They want to go to a farm. They want to rear, have animals, farm animals. They want to have a
Yeah.
vineyard. They want to grow grapes. They want to crush grapes, make their own wine. These are the aspirations of Vishaka, right?
Yeah.
So, but somewhere also, what I've seen, Kapil, is they go on a roller coaster ride. Initially in their life, there's a roller coaster. It is
Right.
it is just reminiscent of, telling you those were the lost battles. The roller coaster rides of your life are the lost battles, but there are triumphant returns. It's the Rocky Balboa, I told you.
Right.
Okay, theme of having big defeat in life and then bouncing back. Rocky is
Right.
what you want to say about Vishaka, right? But on the shadow side, what I'll tell you about Vishaka, and because of his Shakti and all of this, they're extremely possessive. They could be jealous, okay, envious, okay?
Right.
And they find it very hard coming to terms with their ego. It is because it is inherent. It is because of Indra. Okay, so all these three nakshatras in Scorpio, which have some link, have these elements of possessiveness, jealousy, and ego, but in different shades. Okay, I'll tell you what the different shade literally means. Now, all three nakshatras, what I'm saying, Vishaka, Anuradha, and Jyeshta, okay, or Scorpio, have these three issues of possessiveness, jealousy, enviousness, because they want to succeed. But the flavors is different. Now I'll tell you what is the flavor. Jyeshta is victory for the sake of victory. Victory at any cost. I do not care. Even I can sacrifice my own family, but I have to come out victorious. I do not care. That is the attitude of Jyeshta.
Yeah.
Okay. Vishaka is because you have the Agni element there, is victory for the sake of injustice. Sometimes you want to be victorious, but you are fighting for a noble cause.
I see. Okay.
Okay, you're fighting for a noble cause, and you want to be victorious because for the sake of a cause. Anuradha is the one which is in between. Okay, they are the balancing. They neither want to be too victorious. They neither want to be too dominant, or they are the passive part of things. But they have jealousy, but it doesn't come out too much. But with Vishaka and Jyeshta is too much, very high. Oversized ego. Jyeshta. Vishaka is not that. You have ego, but you can control that ego. Okay, so that people do not understand, or you don't want to show it, and you want to fight a battle for the injustice, or trying to bring normalcy, for the right code of conduct, right morality in society. That is what you want to do.
Right.
Anyway, so but I have also seen they may lack a strong social network of friends. Sometimes when you have malefics influencing Vishaka, okay, they have lack of friends, lack of social networking, or they feel isolated or alone. Or sometimes when they have social networking and all of that, eventually when they enter the second part of their life, when I say enter the second part, there is nothing which demarcates which is first part and second part. Typically, what people say, thumb rule is, before marriage is your first part and after marriage is your second part.
Yeah,
okay, that is pun intended, but that is what it is, because marriage is all about bringing changes in your life.
Exactly.
Because you're bringing another partner, right? So you can say before marriage could be sometimes struggle, after marriage could be good, as a thumb rule, I'm saying. So before marriage, you might be the one who is very social, very network oriented, feel love to go party and all of that. And after marriage, you become more like a recluse. You want to sit at home. You want to meet only a couple of friends. I would like to invite 2 or 3 friends, have a good drink, have a good meal, pizza. Good, I love it. But I'm not the kind who would want to go party all night and all of that.
Right.
Exactly. You sober down.
Yep.
That is Vishaka. Okay? And then you would go more into getting drawn into going into places where there is less interaction with people. You want to merge yourself with the nature, Mother Earth, all of that. Anyway.
Yeah.
That is again coming the Mother Earth element, going to where nature is, because it comes from harvesting, okay, cultivation. These are the sort of themes which come later on in their life, but they will earn a lot of fruits of their life, right? Okay. Anyway, let's go to the next slide, Kapiel.
Okay.
All right, this is a mythology that I would say very quickly. It's about Vitrasur. Vitrasur was a demon. Okay, he had engulfed the oceans on our planet. Okay, and Indra, and he is also, Vitrasur was also called as a dragon, water dragon. He drank all the water on the earth. And if you look at our Vedas, okay, and the Puranas, all of them sing about Indra's, victory, the colossal victory or the colossal feat, or the war that he slayed Vitrasur. Okay, the dominance you can see in that image there. On one side, I'm showing you, it is Indragni. It is like Indragni, the 2-headed ones. Okay, yeah. And this side I'm showing you Indra using his Vajra. Vajra is his thunderbolt to strike Vitrasur. Right. So element, this thing is to say it gives you a kingly position. Okay, fighting for for protecting interests of other people or your subjects or your subordinates. It gives you that element. It's like, you want to conquer land because you want to become king. You want to show you're courageous. All of that.
Yeah.
They cannot have enough of fighting battles. When I say in literal sense, today's terms, it is not the same battles that you would find with with swords and this. Here, your battles are different. Your battles of life that you're fighting today. You have to take everything whatever I say in a stubble manner. When I say battle, you have to always link it to all the battles or your obstacles of your life. Overcome those obstacles. Use it, metaphorically. Always I tell my students, look deeper. When I say something, it is not literal.
Exactly.
When I say, death, okay, do not think death only by killing somebody. Death can be killing of their, ego.
Ego, yeah.
Okay, the death of controlling your, shadrikus are, whatever.
That can be the transformation, like leaving your old self behind and bringing the new self.
Yes, letting go of your old skin, coming into a new skin. So when I say death, you see, whenever nakshatras we talk anything, what I say, you have to use it in a stubble manner, use it metaphorically, use it not figuratively. People, I know many people are new to this sort of subject, and you say, okay, he said it is death. Yeah, it is not literally means death, but it is, you have to use it.
Absolutely.
So look at the deeper side of things and look at it from a very higher conscious. Elevate your consciousness to a different level, and do not seem to take any word I take in a literal meaning. Take it always from stubble. That I leave it to the students, how you interpret. That is what our ancient scriptures are all about. They have never said do this.
Yeah.
Rishi has written a sloka, but he'll never say how you interpret the sloka. He's never written about that. He has left it to people to interpret. Correct? Similarly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this gives you that dominance, power, trying to control people, all of that. Anyway, let's go to the next mythology, Kapiel. Okay. I've taken this mythology last time, okay, when I was discussing Jyeshtha. It is Indra and sage Durvasa. Okay. So, what it shows, this mythology, I'll reiterate this. It is when Indra was preparing himself to go for a battle. Okay, I want to point you to what I said initially. This nakshatra is all about being prepared. Okay, it is preparation. For a battle or for a transformation. When I say battle, again, remember, when I say battle, it's transformation. Right? So here, what it is showing is Indra is going for his battle, and sage Durvasa, a great seer. Okay, he's in ecstasy, and he gets a garland, okay, from a nymph when he's traveling the three universe, and then he comes to Indralok, and he sees Indra is getting ready for a battle, and he doesn't speak a word because he's in a state of ecstasy or a trance. Okay, he's in a meditative state of highest consciousness, and looking at Indra preparing for a battle of life, he just removes his garland and he throws it on Indra. Okay, with the saying, "Here you go, you will be victorious." Right? Yeah. Indra, okay, he takes that garland from his neck and he puts it on his mount, which is Airavat. Right? And the fragrance of that garland, of the flower, is so overpowering for Airavat, it will take it and it will slam it to the ground. That is when sage Durvasa comes out of his ecstasy, when he sees that his blessings have not been taken, and he runs into a fury, okay, his wrath, and he curses Indra that wherever you are set to go, you will fail. You will never be successful in life. Okay, because of this, because you disregard for your guru, okay, you will suffer. Now, taking this mythology, okay, is the same thing will come to Vishaka. Now, Vishaka, if you are in the first three padas of Vishaka, first three padas of Vishaka fall in Libra, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if I take Libra as the Lagna, okay, the Lord of Vishaka is Jupiter, correct?
Right.
Jupiter is the Lord of which houses from Libra Lagna?
Third and sixth house.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you become disrespectful for your guru, you will have sixth house is Jupiter is guru. Third house is speech.
Yeah.
Okay. Third house and sixth house is the battles of your life. So somewhere it can mean if you disrespect your guru or your elders or somebody, it can bring you some defeats in your life. But it can bring you to your knees.
Okay.
Okay. But same thing, the third lord and sixth lord, what it gives you, sixth lord is of battles. It can make you, if you have strong planets sitting there, you could be extremely strong and you will become victorious over your enemies. You have the ability if you, okay. And third house, so you become excellent orators, public speakers, okay. Or you could be prolific writers. You can see in Vishaka Nakshatra, people who are very good writers can come from Vishaka. People who can come and wow people with their with their speech, that can come. And sixth house, anything which with to do with sixth house things, people with Vishaka can take up Ayurveda. Why I say Ayurveda? Sixth house is illness. Illness and diseases. Yeah. Diseases, right? And Vishaka rules cultivation, harvesting, herbs, crops, all of this. So you can grow your own herbs and then you can heal people.
Right.
Okay. So these themes can come. So you get it? So this is a broader theme I talked about. So let us go now and take some charts. I think we are good for some charts. Right. The first theme that I told you about is kingly power, ambition, okay, courage. These are sort of things which come from Indra. Okay. The chart here I've taken is a French military, strategist or a political leader, Napoleon. Right? He rose to prominence during the French Revolution, and he's associated with many wars. Right?
Right.
So, and he has dominated European affairs for almost a decade during those times. During his times, for about a decade, he was the undefeated.
Right.
Right? All the wars and the coalitions that he has formed, they were called as Napoleonic wars. He won majority of those battles. So it is just synonymous with Indra winning those battles. Right? But on the other side, if you see, okay, I said Agni, right? So if you see in this chart, it is Jupiter which is sitting in the second pad. Okay? And Jupiter is also Atmakaraka. Now, the Agni side of it was Napoleon was also well educated. He was an avid reader. Okay, he brought in a lot of reforms in his country. For higher education, he brought in a tax code. Okay, a lot of road works. He did. Under him, it was not only about the battles, but he grew his country, making it. He established the first central bank in France. Right? There's so many things which he has done. That is the Agni element. So if you see Napoleon, what we know Napoleon is only for his authoritative, political leadership, his dominance, his strategy, all of that, which is more written about it in his life. But nobody knows about the Agni element, which is playing very strongly in his chart. Right? So again, I said this is the third lord of courage and might, and sixth lord of battles and fights in his chart. Jupiter is third lord. Okay, because it is Libra ascendant. Yeah. Okay? With no malefic influences. There are no malefics which are aspecting this Jupiter. Yeah. Okay, and it is sitting in Lagna. Lagna is your body, so obviously it has to give him very strong yoga for becoming a very strong leader. Courageous, ambitious, all of that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Absolutely. Let's go to the next. Yeah. Okay. See, the next theme is unrelenting focus. Okay. Goal oriented, I said. Highly competitive. Right. Here I have a chart of Margaret Thatcher. Okay. If you see Margaret Thatcher, she was a British politician, okay, and she was the first female and the longest serving Prime Minister of United Kingdom.
Right.
Right? And she was the only Prime Minister in the 20th century to have completed three terms, 3 consecutive terms, okay, in power.
Okay.
She was called as the most powerful woman in the world during her times, and she was nicknamed the Iron Lady. Okay, the
Right.
Iron Lady. What is the planet which is connected with iron?
Saturn.
And what do you see in the chart here?
Saturn is exalted in the Vishaka Nakshatra, ascendant.
Absolutely. With ascendant
Yeah.
and Saturn. You see the terminology, the Iron Lady coming there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And ascendant. In the previous chart also it was ascendant with Jupiter. Here also you see. So when ascendant is coming, okay, and if it is ascendant is connected with some powerful planet like a Jupiter or a Saturn in Vishaka, okay, or a Sun, can give very prominent position in life.
And then was her Saturn debilitated in the Namansha?
Yes, it was debilitated because it is in the first pada, right? When Vishaka is first pada, okay, the 4 Navamsha padas of Vishaka are Aries, okay, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer.
Yeah.
So the 4th pada becomes Cancer, first pada is Aries. It is debilitated. Okay, so if somebody sees her debilitated Saturn in the Navamsha, they would say, okay, well, how can she become such a powerful leader?
Right.
Right? And also remember, Vishaka is all about, it falls in Libra. Libra is what? The scale, right? The scale. The symbol is the scale. What is the scale? It shows law. Now see what is written here in Wikipedia. It says she began studying law in her spare time. Okay, and she became a tax lawyer, taxation lawyer. Okay, especially with taxation and in patent law. Okay, patents.
Yeah.
She's also the author. I told you about authorship.
Yeah.
She wrote a book called as Statecraft, which is a very popular book in United Kingdom. Okay, for people who want to learn about Niti Shastra. What do you say Niti Shastra? Good governance. Like Chanakya Shastra. Chanakya was a great prominent political scientist. Okay, and he was in Chandragupta Maurya's times. Okay, he used to direct, and he wrote something called as Niti Shastra. Similarly, Margaret, she was very powerful. She had her highs and lows in her career as well, but she was the Iron Lady. She could crush, any turbulence which comes within her kingdom. She had the capability to crush it. Okay, right. She has written a book called the Statecraft, about statesmanship, about good governance, how to do that. Okay. Anyway, now if you look at this chart, Saturn is also Yoga Karak.
Yeah.
Okay, Yoga Karak. Okay, and Lord of fourth Lord of Homeland, fifth Lord of Power.
Yeah.
Okay, creativity, 5th Lord of Creativity. Okay.
Yeah.
And it is sitting with her 9th Lord of Bhagya, which is fortunes, which is Mercury.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
That's a powerful Raj Yoga right there.
Very, very powerful Raj Yoga. Absolutely. Yeah. With a Yoga Karak, okay, Yoga Karak planet with the ascendant, with a 9th Lord, extremely powerful. So anyway, that shows you. But she was very forceful. She had a very competitive spirit, and she was always goal oriented. Very determined lady. Very determined. Mm-hmm. That shows you how. See, again, when you say, somebody can come and say, okay, I have this combination, but I am not successful like Margaret. You have to see multiple things in the chart. Okay, not only you have to see Raj Yogas, when the dashas were operating in her chart, all of that. You have to see multiple things. Okay, not just one planet. So I reiterate every time in my lesson, is because people jump to conclusions. There are so many young ones here as well. They say, okay, I have this planet, so it has to give me this result. So chart in totality has to promise. Exactly. Not one nakshatra can promise everything. Exactly. But for the purpose of these lessons to teach you, I'm taking just one.
Yeah. Either you get really harsh lessons where Rocky Balboa has to defeat Hulk, or Rocky Balboa may just have to defeat Hulk Hogan. different things. So when a person has to defeat the Hulk, the big green giant, yeah, you might be defeated to like 80% of your life. But if Rocky Balboa is versus this Hulk Hogan, the wrestler, he can defeat him in one battle. So I see that what you're saying. Yeah.
Right. I think, if, you can understand this, Kapil, you and me can understand, but there's so many people who are watching, they have to understand the gist of what we want to say. It is not always, what you see here is not what you get. Many
exactly, like Saturn, like let's say even like Sun in the Vishaka Nakshatra in the 8th house versus the 1st house will have a completely different scenario and meaning for those two people. You can't say that, oh yeah, both of you will be king of your kingdom. No, one may have to literally give up his life to become a king in a way. Correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you get that. So I want the younger ones and the newer ones who are learning about this should get this concept, So at least people will stop saying, okay, I have, yes, but focal planets, it can give you a broad pattern. But other planets like Saturn, you will have to look from multiple places.
Yeah, either anyway, it can create a Raj Yoga or it can create the Argala, meaning the obstruction of your Vishaka Nakshatra.
Correct. And also remember, what I told you was the first pada and the 4th pada of Vishaka are Pushkara Navamsha padas.
Right.
It's a different concept. I know I shouldn't have spoken about it, but I have to speak because people have to know. But people have to read more. That's the only way. Okay, it's not about coming to these classes and lessons that we do. Go and read. Exactly. Read a lot. Before you put a question, I know. How I was taught by Sunil is very little. I used to go and ask him. If I go and ask him anything, he'll give me a book. Now read this whole book and then come and speak to me.
Exactly.
And unless you have mastered, something, and because you have that intention of gaining knowledge, you go and read and read. You speak to people, you get. But do not go into this thing, one planet, one nakshatra astrology. Please do not do that. We do it here as a lesson, is because we want to share some knowledge, but do not do this. Learn astrology, learn it in full. Don't do it in bits and pieces like what we are trying to teach here. Anyway, let's go to the next theme. Okay, this is a theme that I was talking to you about. Alcohol brewers or vintners, liquor business, profession related. So you can find a Vishaka Nakshatra who's a bartender. He's juggling with his things. So all of that. These people are somewhere associated. So this alcohol is coming because I said Indra and Agni were both. They were great soma drinkers. Great. Okay. Second thing is I have told you cultivation. Okay, that is, these things are element, agriculture, all of these are associated with this nakshatra. So, a penchant or a desire to have a farmland or a vineyard or all of these are associated with this nakshatra, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is the chart, is a famous director, producer of all times, my favorite, the Godfather, the movie, the trilogy that he has done, Francis Coppola. Now, if I read, cutting out the Godfather bit of it, what he's more popularly known as, the less popularly that he's known as, he has his own vineyard. In 1975, I read in Wikipedia that from the proceeds of Godfather, whatever he made, he invested in a vineyard.
Yeah.
Okay? And that vineyard initially for many years was called as Rubicon Estate Winery. Yeah. And in 2011, it was renamed as Inglenook. And what I read from Wikipedia, it says he grows grapes organically. Okay, organically. Again, you see the Agni element coming. He doesn't use fertilizers. Organically. It's cleansing, it's purification. So that is the element. And they say his wine, one of his type of wine, okay, which is written there. I don't know. I can spell that right also. Is it Inglenook Chablis? That is what is written. Chablis. I don't know whether that's the right pronunciation. It could be a French pronunciation. Anyway, he says it's one of the 5 most widely selling wines in the United States restaurants. I do not know.
No. His wine is called Coppola, the name of the wine.
Okay.
I see it in Trader Joe's. I actually used to get it, and it's now one of very expensive wines. Like instead of being $9, it's like literally $49 wine now. $50 wine now. So yeah, the Coppola wine, I actually knew it from back in early 2000. I'm like, wow, Coppola, is that Francis Ford Coppola? I'm like, oh yeah, that's him. Yeah, so I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you are. Because I've been to the US.
Yeah, but I like anytime I go to grocery stores and I'm looking for wine for myself, I see Coppola, and he's like, now he has like 10, 11 different versions of wine, from Pinot Noir to my goodness, I mean, so many.
Rocher or whatever, I do not know.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So all these French ones, my tongue is not very good enough. I cannot pronounce most of the words. And many of the foreigners have told me they have a problem with my accent. I have a very South Indian accent. I'm a South Indian. So some of my pronunciation might not be there.
Oh, no. You sound fine. You're good.
Okay. Anyways. Okay, now coming back to this chart, if you see moon, okay, is sitting in Vishaka, in the fourth pada.
Yeah.
The fourth pada is the debilitated pada of moon. But I also told you it is a Pushkara Navamsha pada.
Yeah.
Okay. So it gives some prominence. Now see, it is the eighth lord here for him. Okay. Eighth lord is also about intoxication. It's a dark house, right? Eighth house, natural. Eighth house is dark house. So eighth lord is something to do with alcohol. And it is sitting in the 12th house of intoxication.
Of addiction. Yeah.
Addiction. Exactly. Okay. And moon, if you remember, is also called as Soma. Soma means is the god of Somras, the nectar of life.
Nectar of life. Pleasure.
Pleasure, exactly.
And if you notice, creating a Viprit Raj Yoga for him too.
Yes, eighth lord sitting in the 12th house of Viprit Raj Yoga. Absolutely. And then, secondly, it is coupled with moon sitting in fourth pada, which is the Navamsha, Pushkara Navamsha pada of Vishaka. So all of this, for a normal person who is coming and seeing this chart, okay, he will only look at Vishaka Nakshatra,
exactly.
Or he will only look at the eighth lord in the 12th house and he'll say it's Viprit Raj.
No, he'll probably look at just the debilitated moon. Oh my goodness.
People will see the debilitated moon. I'll say, all right, debilitated, this guy is,
Yeah, this guy is depressed 24/7.
Yes.
That's how
But what has he done? But what has he done? He's come out with a luxury brand of wines.
Yeah.
Okay, as you said, they're $50. They're very expensive wines.
Yeah.
They're not cheap.
Exactly.
Okay, and he's made a fortune from this. So movies is one side. Then this was what I wanted to show you. So he's a vintner. Okay, let's move to the next example chart there. Another example chart here of another vintner. Okay. This guy is an Italian-American auto racer, right?
Yeah.
Now, when he said auto racer, I instantly looked at one planet there, okay, which suddenly gave me saying that, okay, this guy might be into auto racing. I saw a Saturn, okay, sitting in Ashwini Nakshatra. It's debilitated house, no doubt, okay, but I saw that it is sitting there, and Mars is sitting in Bharani. Anyway. So why I said that is it's Lagna, it's Lagnadipati, it's Capricorn Lagna for this person, and the lord of his Lagna, Saturn, is sitting in Ashwini Nakshatra. Ashwini is about speed, it's about swiftness. Okay,
like
it's
the horses, horsepower,
sprinting, horsepower. Yeah, it's the sprint of the horsepower. So obviously, I'm sitting in the fourth house of vehicles as well. The fourth house is also said, house of vehicles. So that's where I could say, okay, this is a great observation for me. Anyway, that was not the point that I took this chart. I took this chart because he was into auto racing, okay, into Formula Junior class in Italy for a very long. He moved to US. He met with a great accident. Now, where is the accident coming from? If you see Saturn is sitting with Mars, Mars has to give you accident in Bharani Nakshatra, ruled by Yama.
Yeah.
Okay, the lord of Dharma and death. Okay, so some sort of accident in the fourth house of vehicles. So he had an accident, a great accident, broke 6 of his ribs. That is what is written about him on Wikipedia. Okay, and from that he retired from racing. But the same year when he retired, he founded Andretti Winery. Okay, with another person. Okay, in Napa Valley, in California. Okay, he bought 53 acres of vineyard and he's cultivating that. So now, if you see this chart, it's the 7th lord of business, which is Moon, sitting in the 10th house of career. So obviously, when he was young, people would have said, okay, this guy could have been a great racer, but eventually he ended up becoming a alcohol, distributor or manufacturer or a vintner. Okay, so that is because Moon is also his Amatya Karaka.
Yeah.
Amatya Karaka. So all these are coming into Vishaka. What is coming? The 10th, it is the 7th lord of his business or relationship, because you say 7th lord also depicts his partner sitting in the 10th house of his career. He got a partner, and Moon has gone to the 10th house of his profession or career. And Moon is also Amatya Karaka. Amatya Karaka is Gemini Karakas, which means something related to your profession.
Exactly.
Okay. And his Lagna Lord is aspecting, okay, this Moon.
Yep.
Okay. So somewhere, some connection. So not everybody will have, the thing of being, having a vineyard who has something to do with Vishaka Nakshatra.
Because I mean, if you look at it, not only this Moon is in Vishaka in the 10th house, but it's also creating a Raj Yoga with Saturn. Okay. And Saturn itself is getting a Neech Bhang Raj Yoga from Mars. Absolutely. So you get like these two Raj Yogas that are being forming in Kendra. I mean, this is a powerful chart. Yeah. You can easily see that. Yeah. Even though if it's debilitated, I mean, look at the cancellation of debilitation.
Absolutely. So that is why, so when you read astrology like you do, Kapil, or we do, we have to look at the chart in totality, and that's when you can infer. You say, okay, it's a debilitated Saturn, but now it's got that cancellation of that debility.
And then 4th house represents land, real estate. So him buying the vineyard is the Raj